Alright guys, so moving right along to the next volume of Charles Scholl's Darth Vader run, we have Legacy's End. Now, Legacy's End is of course the second volume and picks up right at the end of where we left off at issue 6 in the previous volume, in that Vader and the Inquisitors have been tasked by the Emperor to hunt down the Jedi archivist Jocasta Nu, who, is the big crux of this story, but really, it feels weird because I feel like the last issue of issue 6 should have been in this volume, because, it just feels like we're getting in the middle of another story arc, really. I understand that, you want to make that money and put all of the, the first 6 issues in the book, but really, the first volume should have just been the first 5 issues, since it was just the story of how Vader constructed his lightsaber, and just had it, just this issue cut in. But we have the conclusion of that issue, of that story arc, with the next 4 parts in here. And the other 2 parts dealing with Vader delving into an assassination plot against him. So, yeah. Anyway, so, what did I think of this? It was nice. It was nice to see more of the Inquisitors, especially, the Ninth Sister, who, by the way, the Ninth Sister, whenever I heard her talk, because she's this big, burly, character, I couldn't help but think of Kimberly Brooks doing the voice of, doing her Jasper voice for that character. It just fit. It just freaking fit, for that character to be, to be voiced by Kimberly Brooks. So, yeah. I don't know if the Ninth Sister has been in, animated form yet. Maybe she'll be in maybe she'll be in, the upcoming Fallen Order game. I know one of the Inquisitors that actually first appeared in this book, is going to make an appearance as the big boss, so, maybe we'll see, the Ninth Sister as one of the bosses. That would be a, cool possibility. Yeah. This was, it was good. I will admit that I like how Vader deals with the Inquisitors, knowing that he is the Sith and they are, just the Dark Jedi. I do like how they kind of deal with that kind of dichotomy between the two characters. I really enjoy that kind of, that kind of level of where they stand. I will also say that the action is very kinetic, and Kamikoli's artwork, again, does not disappoint in here. It just does not disappoint. Everything just feels fluid and kinetic. Everything, some of the this is some really damn good artwork. I will admit that it just feels, for a Vader book, and this is why I think I liked LaRocca on Vader as well. And I don't want to compare apples to oranges with Karen the Gillen LaRocca run in Darth Vader, but I felt like the dark shading LaRocca had really kind of just added to that darkness that, having a Sith Lord as your main character would work. So, I don't know, Kamikoli's artwork, while it is nice, it is a little bright, too bright for a, Vader comic at times. It just kind of feels like a little too bright for a Vader comic. But it's still beautiful to look at. It's an interesting conundrum I'm having. It's an interesting conundrum of a comic I'm trying to review. Anyway, so in this story, the first half deals with Jocasta trying to get this information of other other children who are Force sensitive, and Vader's tasked by the Emperor to keep her alive so they can find the archive of both Jedi and Sith. We also get more of the backstory of the Grand Inquisitor, who in here, the Grand Inquisitor, he's a little more aggressive. He's not really refined as we saw him in the Rebels cartoon. But I know it seems a little out of character of how he talks, but we do get his backstory, a little bit of his backstory of why he joined the dark side, which is interesting. But having said that, though, I'm so he just wanted to be. He just wanted more information. Alright, and Jocasta spited him. And Jocasta is very much a hypocrite in her own right. She's very much oh, I've completed my mission, I need to train the new Order of the Jedi. And I'm you're one of the reasons why we got into the Clone Wars, woman. You got snotty about everything. So, you know what? I'm glad you die in here. Yeah, spoilers, Jocasta dies. If your name isn't Luke Skywalker in the new continuity, or Ahsoka Tano, or Ezra, though granted we don't know what happened to Ezra, unless you're one of those three, yo ass dead. Okay? Yo ass is dead. And Jocasta Nu is no different, which is funny because now this is the second time she's been killed by Vader in continuity, because if you guys remember, she did get impaled by Anakin in the Star Wars Episode 3 video game. You guys remember that video game? That was actually really fucking cool. Like, I know I'm breaking away from the review a bit, but Star Wars Episode 3, the video game, was really good. Like, that gave me so much high expectation for the movie. I was kind of bummed because Grievous was treated like a big threat in there, like he was in the comics. There was it built me up to having an actual fight between Anakin and Mace over Palpatine, which that didn't happen, of course. But yeah, that was a real, and it also had a versus mode. Yeah, it had a versus mode, which I thought was really cool. But I'm getting off topic. But yeah, long story short, Jocasta in that and it was counted in continuity. Anakin just impales her on her his lightsaber in that video game is what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, but I do like her death in here, where it's kind of like left ambiguous. Was when they were on the gunship back to the Emperor. It's kind of left open because she reveals to the clones that yeah, Vader is Anakin Skywalker, and you're taking orders from a Jedi. So the next thing you see is all of them flying out out of the ship, and the ship falling to the ground. And Vader's like, you know, that was really stupid. And she's like, you know, what's my fate now? And he hears the ship starting to like tear itself apart. And she's like, oh, okay. So it's left ambiguous as like, it's kind of left open, but it's very at the same time like, yeah, Vader killed her despite, you know, orders otherwise. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, so that's the crux of the main story. So the other is a two-parter in which Vader's investigating a assassination plot against him, which is pretty good. I really like how this continuity's Vader is treated like, yeah, why the officers are really scared and really hate him at the same time. Like, I really like how that balances out in this story. I really enjoy that in this continuity. Of just Vader, who is constantly filled with anger, and he knows that when there's no more Jedi left to kill, who will stand again? You know, who will he take his rage out on, and who will feed him more power of the dark side? So yeah, it really just kind of shows of where Anakin is and how far he's fallen. Though I will admit that it's interesting that it took this long in their continuity, because it's kind of treated like it's been like a month or two since the Empire's been growing. And it's interesting to note that, it took this long for for Palpatine to introduce Vader as his second-in-command, because he's getting attacked by clones most of the time, he's getting questioned by officers who are like, we don't even know who the fuck you are. So, yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's kind of weird that it took Palpatine this long, like a month or two, to essentially tell everyone, yeah, Vader's the second-in-command of the Empire. Follow his orders like you would mine. But, it's Palpatine. He probably did this. It's obviously he kind of did this on purpose. All in all, enjoyable. I will admit that, there are some, obvious mistakes with Jocasta where she could have just easily gotten away, but decided her own hubris got the better of her. The Inquisitors are just fine. Vader in here is really good. Again, Soul is really, I think his best character is Palpatine he's writing, and I think that's been the best character, on all fronts the Marvel Star Wars have been writing consistently, is Palpatine, and how well they've been consistent with his writing. Soul is really good at Vader, especially a Vader who's still kind of coming into his own, so yeah. So anyway, there you go. That is pretty much my review for Volume 2, Legacy's End. I'm more than likely going to do Volume 3, The Burning Seas, since I also have that. As for Fortress Vader, which everyone says, oh yeah, Fortress Vader is the best of the 4 volumes. The 4th and final volume is really the best of this storyline. It's going to take me a while because I've kind of run into some problems in my life, so not to go too deep into it, so I may hold off on getting Fortress Vader right away until I'm a little more on stable ground. So yeah, Fortress Vader, I do intend on getting it, if only to complete the set. But yeah, I will. It may take a while for me to get Fortress Vader, is all I'm saying. So, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Darth Vader Legacy's End? Did you guys like it, hate it? How would you guys feel about, Vader's fight with Jocasta, as well as the Imperial assassination plot? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.